The Cobble Classics come to a close with Paris-Roubaix this weekend. With the Tour of Flanders only a week ago, there are still plenty of riders with scores to settle on Sunday. This year sees the riders face a total of 51.5 kilometres of bone-jangling pavé before they enter the Roubaix velodrome. The 5-starred Truet d'Arenberg has been cleaned of its moss, but will still be a tough challenge. As we saw in Flanders, there are many contenders for the title. Here are Cyclingnews' top 10 riders to watch at Paris-Roubaix. Sep Vanmarcke has taken 2 podium places in the last 2 monuments he's competed in, but victory has thus far eluded him. He was a surprise second to Cancellara in last year's race, but that didn't make losing by such a small margin any less painful. He has been on song so far this season with a string of top 5 finishes. His podium at the Tour of Flanders last week proved that last year was no fluke, and is many people's favourite to take victory this time around. Fabian Cancellara has been streets ahead of anybody else during the Spring Classics. Despite looking like he might be out of the game at Flanders, he pushed on and caught the leaders before taking a commanding victory. He is on the hunt for his second consecutive Flanders-Roubaix double, and there is a lot on the line for Cancellara this weekend. If he takes the win, not only will he join Boonen in the elusive double-double Hall of Fame, but he will equal the Belgian's record of 4 titles. Last week, Phinney made an impressive debut at the Tour of Flanders, despite only recently returning from illness. The cobbles of Roubaix, where he's taken part in the last 2 editions, will be much more familiar territory. Phinney is a 2-time winner of the Under-23 event, and goes into the elite race as a serious contender. Anything can happen at Roubaix, and the American will have to keep his wits about him, but his Flanders performance shows that he's ready to mix it up on the biggest stages. As ever, Tom Boonen will be the figurehead that leads the Omega Pharma Quick-Step team. He's been out of sorts recently and didn't perform as many would have expected at the Ronde. Boonen is one of the most experienced riders on the cobbles, and he won't need to be 100% if he can read the race correctly. However, the Belgian won't have any problems in using that knowledge to help a teammate make the podium either. If he can win on Sunday, it will be his 5th, more than any other rider. The last few races have seen Alexander Kristoff just miss the mark. However, he remains in commanding form. He rode well at the Tour of Flanders, but the many bergs proved his defeating. Provided he's recovered well in the intervening days, Kristoff could be on for another top finish. He took 9th last year, finishing the race for only the 2nd time. With so many other riders on form, he won't be one of the favourites, but he could nick a podium spot if he can hang on to the main group. Zdenek Stybar was another surprise entity in the 2013 Paris-Roubaix. Many believe that he could have won the race if it hadn't been for a fan's camera forcing him to take avoiding action and losing contact with the leaders. He was unable to keep up with the faster guys on the hills last weekend, but this weekend could be a different story. The bike handling skills from his time in cyclocross will stand him in good stead on the fast sections of pavé, making him a big contender for the podium. Edvald Boasson Hagen will be Sky's main leader at Roubaix on Sunday, despite Bradley Wiggins also targeting the French monument. The presence of Wiggins in the team could be good for Boasson Hagen, with the Brit distracting attention from him. The Norwegian has been quietly consistent this spring and put on a strong performance at the Tour of Flanders. This weekend the team will be behind him, and he will have to step things up a notch if he wants to reward their hard work. Niki Terpstra is the 3rd Omega Pharma Quick-Step rider on our list, and probably the one in best form too. Steen Vandenberg could have also made the list, with the Belgian team putting up another strong selection. Terpstra finished on the podium last year, although that was partly due to the misfortune of his teammates. He was still in the right place to make the best of a bad situation for Quick-Step, and if he gets it right, he can definitely make the podium again. After missing out on the Tour of Flanders victory, Greg van Avermaet will be keen to get one over on Cancellara. He's never made the podium at Roubaix, but he hadn't done it at Flanders either until last Sunday. Many thought that last week's big attack was foolhardy, including his own sporting director, Alan Piper, but it proved to be a clever move. Despite losing the sprint, Van Avermaet has a fast finish compared to many, and would be a big threat if he came to the line with the leaders. Sebastian Langeveld is an outside bet for this weekend. He finished 7th here in last year's race, making it to the line in the 3rd group of riders with Stybar and Fletcher. He moved to Garmin Sharp this year, a team with extensive experience in the classics. The move has provided him with the knowledge of 2011 winner Johan van Summeren and director sportief Andreas Clear. Langeveld has had some solid results in recent weeks, and the combined knowledge of Van Summeren and Clear could see him continue that.